In the first few hours, it became clear that this operation was beyond Turkey and Syria. Both countries would need all the help they could get. By Tuesday, President Erdogan had issued an international appeal for help. Most countries responded quickly. Canada has promised to send aid worth $10 million. China sent relief supplies worth $5.9 million. The European Union has sent 27 search and rescue teams along with sniffer dogs. Even Turkey's rival Greece sent 21 rescuers and vehicles. India too has launched an operation to extend assistance to Turkey and Syria. It's called Operation Dost. Quick side note, the word Dost is actually shared by Hindi and Turkish languages. And all of us know what that means. It means friendship. 6 planes with relief material have already been sent to Turkey. As we speak, 4 teams are working on the ground. 2 NDRF rescue teams with sniffer dogs and 2 medical teams are on the ground in Turkey. In fact, India has also set up a field hospital in Turkey's Hatay province. X-ray machines, oxygen plants, surgical equipment, all have been transferred to this hospital. Put together, India's assistance to Turkey stands at 135 tons of relief material and 250 personnel. Now, we did speak to NDRF chief on what the Indian rescuers will be doing in Turkey. This is his assessment.
They would, in all probability, be assigned to a collapsed structure or several collapsed structures. So they would have to initially assess and then start searching for live victims, for which they have various kind of technologies available to them, from electronic to a canine, to find out where the location of a live victim could be. And then once that is triangulated and located, then they start digging, cutting into the structure from wherever they need to reach that victim and pull them out to save a life.
Now, the Indian team is already winning hearts in Turkey. Take a look at this picture that is doing the rounds on social media. It is showing a Turkish woman, let's put that picture out, showing a Turkish woman embracing and kissing an Indian medical officer. The army has also tweeted pictures of her examining patients at the field hospital. As they say, a crisis brings people together. In the past, India and Turkey have not exactly been friends. The current Turkish administration has questioned India's policy on Kashmir and also sided with Pakistan on global platforms. But Operation Dost has certainly proved that humanity is more important than politics. The evidence of that lies in the video we are about to show you. It shows an Indian rescue team saving a 6-year-old child in Gaziantep city. Take a look. Now, Turkey has appreciated the help given by India. Their ambassador in New Delhi called India a true friend. He also quoted a Turkish proverb saying, "A friend in need is a friend indeed." Despite all the help coming from around the world, Turkey and Syria are struggling to cope, especially Syria. This is a country that has been ravaged by war for more than a decade. Around 70% of Syrians are dependent on foreign aid to survive, a number that is likely to get higher after this earthquake. The biggest problem for Syria is sanctions. Foreign aid groups and volunteer organizations are unable to get money to Syria because of these sanctions. Now, most of the rescue work is being done by White Helmets, who are a civil defense group in Syria. Syria's UN envoy says he's holding talks with America and Europe to provide sanctions relief.
We need support to go in to the northwest. We need support to go into the areas under government control that have been particularly hard hit. Aleppo and Hama was mentioned. And we know that some support is already coming in to the airports in Aleppo and indeed also to Damascus.
Now, Thursday was an important day in the rescue operations because 72 hours is often considered the golden hour of earthquake rescue. Beyond 72 hours, the chances of finding survivors is very, very slim. So rescuers have started giving it their final push because they know if it stretches anywhere beyond this, there will be no survivors left under the rubble.
– 62 hours after her home collapsed on top of her in Hatay, Beyhan Akbay was pulled out alive. But her husband is still under the rubble. As her rescuers moved her to a waiting ambulance, she mustered the strength to utter thank you. Enough, they say, to keep them going for the next rescue. There were more stories of survival across the country. After days of digging, this newborn baby was also rescued. He was given life-saving treatment on the scene, as were other children who'd also been rescued. From under the debris, a woman called Aishanur asks for water. Her rescuers tell her she can have some as soon as she's out. It's an agonising wait. It's also excruciating for those waiting near collapsed buildings for word of their relatives trapped underneath. They're desperate and cold.
Our home is gone. We got caught in the rain and we slept on wet ground. We don't even have hot tea to drink. Look at our situation.
In difficult and dangerous conditions, rescuers work as fast as they can. International teams have arrived with extra sniffer dogs and camera technology, but the scale of the disaster means there are simply not enough resources to reach everyone. In the city of Kahramanmaraş, the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan visited one of the many emergency camps set up in the south of the country. While meeting with survivors, he promised funding for all those made homeless by the quakes.
With God's help, we will rebuild the houses within a year in all of our 10 provinces, working together with contractor companies under the management of the Housing Agency. We will speed up the debris removal as well as the construction of new houses.
Ahmed, can you hold out your leg? A rescuer calls to a young boy in the Syrian city of Jandaris. They're racing against the clock to find people alive. But sometimes surviving is bittersweet.
The building collapsed on us. We were a family of 16, but 13 of us died. My brother, my young niece and I were the only ones who got out.
In this makeshift morgue in the Syrian city of Sarakib, Idris holds the body of his grandson, saying his heart is aching. 25 of his relatives died in the earthquake.
We fled the war. Look at the injustice that pursues us. We came here to find safe shelter for us and our children, but in the end, look what fate has dealt us.
Despite the window for finding survivors closing rapidly, across both countries, rescuers are refusing to give up. The magnitude of the quake was impossible to prepare for, and the whole world is hanging on for moments like these.
Now, there are lessons to be learned from Turkey's experience. Despite the 1999 earthquake, they were not prepared for what happened this week. Most buildings collapsed like a pack of cards. India too must take note of Turkey's failures. We are sitting on an even more dangerous fault line than Turkey, the Himalayan fault line. This region experiences more frequent and more powerful tremors than the Middle East. Here in India, the landmass is so divided into different seismic zones. Zone 5 is considered the most dangerous and makes up around 11% of India's geography. Zone 4, which is the second most dangerous, makes up around 18%. Major Indian cities like Delhi, Gurugram, Lucknow are prone to tremors. These cities are closer to the Himalayas and are often rocked by minor quakes. But experts say a major one is never far behind. So we need to be prepared.